Yeah, your trip's coming up. Are you excited?
Tomorrow, yeah, very excited. Excited to like finally get it going, getting
To
into
get
it
it
and
over
stop.
with? Yeah.
Not so much over with, but just like the build up to it. Like
Yeah,
this whole week has been feeling like it's like winding down, and like I don't want to like start anything new or do anything big because it's like I'm just gonna have to stop. 'Cause I can't take it with me, so it's like, come on, I just want to like get going, man. All these plans I have.
sure.
Yeah. This time tomorrow, though, I will still be on the first part of the plane ride.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, you're gonna be on a plane for a while, so.
Yeah. Yeah. It's 10 hours, 2 hour layover, and then another 8 hours.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that
So
is.
I'm pretty much going halfway around the world. Like
Yeah.
doesn't get much further away.
Yep. No, exactly.
Yeah, like my plan is wake up tomorrow morning, have some breakfast, edit the podcast, leave, go to the airport.
What time do you have to go to the, like, what time do you have to leave your place?
I'll probably leave my place around 11 a.m.
Okay. You're a morning person, so you've already been up for a while at that point.
Oh,
So,
yeah. I'll be up at like 7 or whatever. If anything,
Sure.
I'll have a bit too much time. Um,
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd rather get to the airport tired and then just fall asleep on the plane. But knowing me, I will not be able to sleep on the plane very easily. But
Sure. That makes
we
sense.
shall see. I'm taking one of those like side of your neck pillow things. Hopefully, that'll help me.
Okay. Yeah. You'll have to give us the review on that. See if it worked out.
Yeah. Hope maybe I'll get lucky and I'll get like an extra seat beside me and I can try laying down. I don't know. The plane looked like it was going to be pretty full,
Yeah.
fortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got a bunch of games loaded onto the Steam Deck. Got a bunch of shows loaded onto my phone.
Nice.
Gotta kill that time somehow.
For sure. Yeah. It's a great time to catch up on like anything, basically,
Yeah.
that you can
Yeah,
carry.
no, I've been avoiding TV shows for the last couple of weeks just so I can have stuff to bring. But hey, enough about me. How's your week been?
Things have evened out for me. It's been pretty good. New job so far is fucking incredible compared to what I've been going through. So I'm very,
nice.
very happy. I'm just still tired a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Things have been good though.
Glad to hear it. Very good. Once again, no John.
He's back next week.
He's back next week. Okay.
Yeah.
I know he was like on about to come back soon.
He's coming back this weekend at some point. But as far as I know, everything is set for him and I to do a show next week. So you'll hear from him next week.
Nice. Oh, I won't.
Well, you
the audience will. You the royal you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
But people should check out John's Twitter as he's tweeting about Newfoundland and the strange things he's seeing and whatnot. So sounds like he's having a good time. But yeah, let's do a show about video games. My last one for a few weeks here. I got lots to talk about, but this is the Top Down Perspective for September 29th. I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
Paul, we have both been playing Moonscars.
Yes. Moonscars came out a couple days ago.
I played this up at PAX West. It was probably like tied for my most excited game.
Okay. Okay. Sure. What do you think of it sitting down at home now?
Pretty much the same, although it's like a lot harder than what I had dealt with before. Because on the show floor, I played from the beginning, like it was coming out in less than a month. So I'm pretty sure it was probably the whole game.
Yeah.
So I just played like, I don't know, to like the first or second mirror.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Whereas now at home, I've definitely played past that. I've beaten the first boss.
The trader, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Chakram.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. And it's way harder than I expected. It is a pretty like punishing game.
Sure.
Seems like a lot of people are saying that because I was like looking on I think it was the subreddit.
Okay.
Just to see like if I was missing something or just kind of like how people were feeling about it, and everyone was like, "This game's way too hard. this opening. Apparently, it gets a
Hmm.
lot easier after the first area, but a lot of people are like, this first area is just messed up.
Sure. I don't think this game is very memorable. I think it's okay.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, no, I love the art style and the setting and stuff a lot. I don't like games that focus purely on parrying as like the real main damage source. For maybe that'll change like now in the second area where I have more. What is it in this again? I can't remember, but this game's version of Souls that you can spend for new abilities and stuff.
Ichor?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah,
So
maybe
real
like
quick before you get too into it, where are you in the game?
I'm in the castle, I guess.
Okay, so you're like I crossed like the bridge and then stopped.
Yeah, I'm in that castle that you're going to right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're ostensibly at the same point. I don't know. The combat feels okay. I don't think anything about it is necessarily great, but I don't think any of it is bad either. I think it's totally serviceable. It has some fun, cool things about it. I find it interesting that there's like this risk-reward mechanic of usually in a Souls-like type thing, you get to a checkpoint and that's kind of like your safe spot. And in here, it is, but you also have to fight like you. After you do that?
Yeah. Anytime you find a new checkpoint,
yes, a mirror.
you like go into it and it always like warps you back to like the home base, and it reminds you like doppelganger's coming, and it's like, oh yeah, great. So you buy your little whatever you need to buy, you talk to who you can talk to, and then you're like go back, then you got to fight yourself. And I guess the nice thing about that one is if you die,
you're just right there.
You're just like right there. So it almost seems like inconsequential. Like it's almost more of like a narrative thing. I guess.
For me, it was more just like an annoyance because I'm not going to not take this checkpoint. Like, I'm not going to not take it.
Sure, yeah. And then, unfortunately, I don't think you get anything for beating them besides your stuff back.
Right, yeah. And they
maybe you get some Ichor, but you don't get, like, every time you do it, you're going to get one of the, what are the, like, super currency? Glands?
The glands, yeah. What you do get is, like, your heavy attack ability, or like a choice of one again, which is kind of interesting that you can constantly change that.
You get the chance to change it, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. It's weird because for a little bit I thought, is this gonna be like roguelitey? Because there's a lot of roguelitey things of you picking up like perks or whatever, and but no, that's kind of like, yes, but those runs are kind of based within your lives. So it's like if you took a Souls game and every time you die, that was one run that you had in that larger narrative.
It's almost kind of like a momentum based thing where it's like the longer you stay alive, the more powerful your character will become. And then once you die, you go back to whatever your like baseline is, which you can permanently upgrade.
Yes.
You can find, more max health, more max strength, more max Ichor, which again, Ichor is both your souls and like your magic ability. You can also use it to heal yourself. Well, okay, there's a couple different things. There's Ichor, the currency.
Yes, yeah.
No, sorry, that's not Ichor. That's bone dust.
You're right. It is bone. It's 100% bone dust. Ichor is your like your Hollow Knight ability to heal, essentially.
It's also your special attack
and your spell, your mana.
And it's like your mana basically, and you can convert it into health.
Yes, you're right.
But the bone dust is the equivalent of the souls, because that's what you will drop and repick back up. Yes.
That's right.
So yeah, it's like I said, it's momentum based. The longer you survive, the stronger you'll get. But once you die, you go back down to whatever your base level is. The one thing that I do find pretty punishing, and I don't quite understand how I trigger it, is the moon phase thing where it turns red.
Yes.
So
I've been trying to figure that out too.
Yeah, something happens that turns the moon. So the game is like, it's dripping in like mystique and visuals and like moon thematic things, and it's like when the moon looks at you, you blah blah blah. Like they are deep into their lore and whatnot, and it's cool. I think the game is very cool to explore and be deep into that. The moon will turn red, which makes everyone way stronger.
Yeah. It's
and
called
then you
moon
can
hunger.
pay.
You get like a
you can pay the glands to turn it off.
Yeah.
But it's not forever. Like,
No.
I don't understand what's triggering it, and it seems like a waste of. And from what I've been seeing on like the subreddit, people are saying don't pay to do it, save the glands for like the upgrading
Totally.
amulets. Yeah, so it's almost like, hey, if you're finding this game hard, too bad, because you should keep playing it on hard. Otherwise, you're just gonna make it harder on yourself in the long run by wasting this precious resource and not buying these amulets.
Yes. I think it's triggered by you dying, which is kind of like this
Just
weird
another
punishing. If
reason
you
not to
suck,
die.
you suck more. Like, yeah, it's weird.
It is a hard game. I understand that the first boss is like a real wall for some people.
That first boss is okay. Just straight up, like, we're gonna get into the nitty gritty of why I even don't like Bloodborne most of the time. I hate things that will like kill you in 2 hits. Just straight up, I just hate that shit so much. And this game suffers from everything is way too strong-itis.
Well, that's because you're leaving the moon as red. If you don't leave the moon as red,
Right.
meaning you waste, like if you do the thing you shouldn't do and waste the precious resource to turn the moon back to white, things
Yeah.
are pretty easy to kill. Like
Yeah.
this the regular little walk-in dudes, like one hit you can take them out sometimes. But again, you don't want to do that. You want it to be
Right.
harder.
I did that once by accident because I was like, "What does this do?" And then like the answer was nothing, ostensibly. Like, oh, it kind of did nothing except that like I guess I can get through this area easier now. Okay.
Yeah, but then you probably died relatively soon
Like,
after that, and it went
yeah.
back to red, and it was like, what was? Yeah,
Just such a waste. Yeah.
I'm really glad I kind of went to that subreddit and got some like pro tips, and I'll give a pro tip out here. This is on Game Pass, by the way, so people should try this out if they
That's
like.
how I played it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very Metroidvania in its setup. You're going back to areas and like breaking down walls, so you get more stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm playing on Xbox. I'm playing it on Game Pass Cloud. But pro tip: there is a amulet that you should absolutely buy. It's from the like vessel, the old man with the beard on the right side of your home base.
Oh yeah.
8,000 bone dust.
Okay.
It will sell you a trinket that every time you parry, you get health back.
Oh, that seems good.
Makes the first boss like a joke. I went into the first boss, got my ass handed to me, and I was like, well, I guess I'll just go back through the entire game that I played up to this point to see if I missed stuff. And yeah, I had missed stuff.
Sure.
Got the 8,000 bone dust, bought that. You heal so much that I was almost like, I don't even care if I get hit. I'm just going to stand here and attempt the parry over and over again.
Oh, sure.
I got it enough times where I was just like, I'm going to destroy you. Like, it went from like, this is very difficult to this is not hard whatsoever. So there's your pro tip. Definitely get that. That amulet is key, and I'm never going to turn that off.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that there is a weird hard, like, once you understand the parrying, this game becomes way easy because they want you to parry. That is, you do more damage with the counterattack. The parry completely negates damage. It slows everything down. Like, they want you to wait, parry, and repeat or whatever. What's kind of nice, too, is that at least it feels this way. When you go into the parry animation, you actually have iframes, so other shit that's attacking you is also just not hitting you out of the thing. Once you start the counter animation, you're in, and you will do damage to whatever else is, because it's a 2D thing. Yeah. You'll damage whatever else is in the way as well, which is super nice. So there's some cool like kill rooms that you get trapped in that you parry one dude, and you're able to like kill 3 other guys at the same time.
I will say I feel like the combat feels great. I talked about this when I played it at PAX. Like I think the combat feels so nice, and then you have to get the parry, but once you get the hang of the combat and you're like attacking, doing charge attacks, dodging, parrying, like once you're in there, like it feels so nice and fluid, and you feel like a complete badass. I also got an amulet that every time I dodge, I do damage to people. That's pretty great too. But yeah, no, I think it's kind of interesting because it also has like a big mechanic about like knocking enemies back. They really want you to hit enemies as hard as you can so that they go flying into spike walls and then die immediately.
There's spike walls everywhere. It's kind of hilarious.
Everywhere. Yeah. No, I think it's a cool looking game. I think it plays pretty nicely. I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
Cool. I mean, I played a shitload of Splatoon 3 because we have to talk about that at the end of the month.
Okay.
So that's all I've been playing is Moonscars.
Okay. I played a few other things. First off, Beacon Pines. This came out on Game Pass. This is a
This is the animal one, right? Yes. Okay.
This is the animal one. I'm trying to pick a genre. Like it's pretty much a visual novel, I guess, and you kind of walk around
Okay.
the area. Like it looks visually, it looks like an adventure game, but there's not really anything besides going up to people and talking to them.
Okay.
Kind of the interesting mechanic is it is literally similar to like a choose your own adventure style, like a Goosebumps choose your own adventure, where you will come to a crossroads, and they call them a crossroads. And throughout the game, you have picked up like verbs, basically,
Okay.
and they want and so there's a really great narration. Like the voice acting is really great from this one woman, and she's kind of telling the story of this character. And you'll come to a crossroads, and she'll kind of explain narration wise what's going on, and then you need to fill in the blank with one of the verbs. And you can't just use any verb you've collected. It'll be like, here's the ones that you've collected that are correspond to this section.
Okay.
And that'll cause a branching path. And then you can just end up at a dead end, and the character will be like, no, like it'll be like kind of Prince of Persia style of, wait, that is not how that happened. Hang on.
Okay.
And then you need to go back to the crossroads and put something else. And it'll tell you like which crossroads you have verbs found for. So the way they kind of gate your progression is like you are absolutely going to hit dead ends because you need to get to some dead ends to get verbs that work on different branches of the tree. And it's literally a tree they're building. So you need to kind of bounce around through it. This game looks super cutesy because everyone's like an anthropomorphized animal, and they're all like 12-year-olds. Like they're like your kids. It's like storybook thing.
Yep.
It gets weirdly dark.
Yeah, I could definitely see, like, I'm looking at some screenshots here. I could see this going into some weird places
like
later.
You would not expect this to get like this kind of dark, but like it gets. There's a few times, like for example, and this doesn't seem like a lot, but again, this is like a cutesy little like reindeer character I'm playing as. They swear.
Oh, weird. That is weird, actually.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
like there are swears in this, and that kind of was like, oh wow, okay. I mean, that's fine. But yeah, no, it gets like pretty dark. I pushed a kid. Again, it was another kid. I pushed him, and he fell in some weird goo, and his body was ruined. It morphed into a weird, like horrific creature. And as far as I know, he's ruined forever.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yep. That's pretty great. Well,
yeah.
Like, I mean, not for him, but
no. But like, so like, it was a little startling. But anyways, I like a good narrative focused game. This is on Game Pass. If you like a good narrative focused game, it's called Beacon Pines.
I got Night in the Woods vibes from what I saw of it. Is that fair? Maybe more visual novel?
I guess in the same sense of like they're animal people walking around. I'd say like thematically and tone wise, not really. Night in the Woods feels more like teen angst kind of stuff going on. Whereas this is like not exactly murder mystery, but it's like there's like a weird mystery happening in this town.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, I like in terms of kind of how you interact, yeah, they're pretty similar.
Right.
But like tonally, I think they'd be kind of different.
Okay.
I also played through all of Deathloop.
Oh, okay.
I started and finished it. It came out on Game Pass, which was like the kick I needed to like, okay, I need to restart this because it's been in the back of my head like I need to go back and like finish up Deathloop. And if you had told me that Deathloop came out last year, I would have been like, no, it didn't. It came out in 2020. But no, it came out last year. And
yeah. It's felt like a long year.
It felt like 2 years. I would have sworn it came out in 2020, but no, that came out a year ago. And it makes sense because it seems like it has like the exclusivity of 1 year, and then Microsoft puts it out on Game Pass. So I started it up, brand new one. I pretty much turned all of the like difficulty things down.
Okay.
I just kind of wanted to like get through it. I played with Juliana invading.
Okay.
And I took out a couple Julianas. The minute I got my ass handed to me, I was like, I'm never doing this again. And I switched my game to single player.
Okay. Yeah.
There's no reason to play with Juliana. Like it just makes it harder.
And well, I mean, it's fun.
If you
I don't
want the
know.
challenge, sure. But as someone who just kind of wants to see the story,
Oh yeah,
and I'm like
sure.
trying to get something done here, I don't need someone difficult coming in and literally hunting me down. I am stressed enough as I'm sneaking through this like airplane hangar and trying not to be seen by like the 15 dudes in masks here.
Yeah, right.
And yet there is someone hunting me. No, thank you. I don't need that. I
Okay.
don't need that stress in my life, so I turned that off. And the nice thing about switching into single player mode is I'm now allowed to pause the game.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Because even
Yeah.
if there's no Juliana, it's like an online game because Juliana could show up at any moment and then they
Yeah.
don't let you pause. And sometimes I need to pause the game.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, so I finished that up. I liked it. I knew I would like it. I was trying to look back on like why what took me away from this? Why didn't I finish it when it was on PS5? And I think it's because it came out like a week before Tales of Arise, and then
Oh,
I just
yeah.
completely switched over to that.
Yeah. Fair.
Apart from that, I've been playing a little bit, and I can talk about it now because the preview embargo is passed. Overwatch 2, the full version of Overwatch 2,
Okay.
with the battle pass and everything, which
Eh,
has been getting some like not great press. If people have been following the news headlines, there's a few things involved with like you need to tie a phone number to it, your account.
oh, really? I didn't see any of this. Yeah, no.
Yeah, so you need to hook up a phone number when it goes live. I don't have to like because it's currently still in like a test version.
Yeah.
But I understand when it goes live on the 4th, I'm going to have to put my phone number in there, which I mean, I don't really care. They're not going to text me, but like it's also just kind of a weird thing. Like why do you need my phone number? Probably to sell to somebody, right?
Well, okay. I was going to ask if you know why do they need that? I'm curious.
I think it's just a security measure so that they don't I didn't read the article, but from
Okay.
what I understand and the way the like pop-up comes up is it's just a way to like uh protect your account, and I'm sure it's twofold so they get less people coming in and being like horrific shits.
Yeah, I mean, Blizzard has a history of this. There was a while where the real ID or whatever, if you played WoW, you had to like connect it with your like real name and I think to your like Facebook or something. But yeah, Blizzard has done this before. It's just seems weirdly specific now.
It is also just weird because like no one else asks for my phone number, and
Right.
I don't know. I guess if you're a kid, you have to put like your parents' phone number down.
Your home phone number or something.
Well, I mean, do people still have home phones? I
I
can't imagine people still have home phones.
I heard one person say that they do because that's like what their parents call on or whatever, which I guess, but at some point like they could dial your cell phone number too.
Yeah, I mean, like my parents had home phones like longer than I would have assumed. I've never had a home phone myself.
Right.
When I moved out, but they have since gotten rid of theirs because they did also realize I have this cell phone right here. And
Yeah.
like there's no reason to have a home phone. So I am kind of curious who still has a home phone and who is tying that home phone to Overwatch 2.
Yeah. Like what part of the like gaming populace has a home phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really, it's not like they're asking for a home phone, but I would be just kind of curious what the like what the percentage is. Here's like a fun thought experiment. Over under 5% when this thing goes live, you think we'll tie it to a like a landline?
Oh, I would assume under, but I guess like I've learned to just not be surprised when the answer is way higher than I expect for this sort of thing.
We got someone in the chat saying I still have a home phone. I have to assume this person is 100 years old, but I don't know. I mean, maybe there's an advantage. You know what? Or maybe they're saying they have a home phone in the same way that I technically do have a landline just because it came with my internet. And I don't have anything plugged into the wall. But if I did, I could.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows?
Weird. Yeah.
What was the other thing that people were getting upset about? Oh, it was like new accounts have to unlock the old Overwatch characters still through like the battle pass or something.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna be like by paying $60. It's just like, oh, that's kind of weird. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I feel okay with that, I guess. but I'm a person who owns Overwatch 1, so of course I don't care.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think who is this actually upsetting? It's someone who didn't play Overwatch 1, and why are they that upset that they have to work harder in their new game?
Well,
Clearly
now
they
they're
did
just
not
spending
care enough.
time instead of like the money that when that came out.
Yeah, so it's a person who's like, I am not going to spend $40 on Overwatch or whatever it was when it was discounted, but I am going to play Overwatch 2 because it's free to play.
Right.
But I'm upset that they're not giving me all those characters that I put my foot down and said I am not willing to pay for.
I'm sure they'll release a like catch-up bundle for $10 or something. You can unlock whatever. I could see it.
I don't know. Maybe they are selling some kind of like starter pack thing. I don't know how many. I
Okay.
don't know if it gets you any battle pass levels. I'm assuming you could also purchase battle pass levels, but some of the characters are pretty far into the battle pass, I think.
Oh,
I don't know.
really? Interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, yeah. Hey, it's Overwatch. Like, I'm kind of like right on the fence of like this seems so much like Overwatch. Do I even care? But I also have not played Overwatch like that hard in years, so I might be okay going back and playing some of the same Overwatch. What is interesting though is that I got BattleNet running up on my Steam Deck today,
Okay.
and I was able to play the test server of Overwatch 2 on my Steam Deck,
Mm-hmm.
and it works great until I die, and
Oh,
all input stops, and I can't move my character.
okay.
And then eventually the pop-up saying like, "Hey, you're inactive. We're going to kick you in 10 seconds if you don't start moving." Then I can start moving. And if I don't get out of the spawn point, it kicks me out because even though I'm moving in the spawn point, it still doesn't think I'm moving. And also it won't let me move with the analog stick, but I can jump forward. So if I jump forward enough and get out of the spawn point, then I have full control again until I die.
Hmm.
So it doesn't work great on the Steam Deck at the moment.
But it doesn't not work.
Doesn't not work. Yeah, like the first like 5 minutes, or if I can just not die, I'm having a great time. So that's the new like strat.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, don't
I, don't
die.
know, I was just excited to get it going at all. That's cool. Hopefully they'll adopt it. I feel like everyone is like looking at like we have to make this Steam Deck verified at this point, especially the larger companies that can throw people at that problem.
Yeah, like when you're able to just assign a small team to that, why wouldn't you? For sure.
Someone in the chat put for us from Kotaku, new players will have to win 50 quick play matches to unlock competitive mode
Okay.
and complete roughly 100 matches to unlock all of Overwatch 1's existing 32 heroes.
I mean, here's the thing. In my fervor of when I played Overwatch, 100 matches was nothing. That was like a week of that game, probably. So it's not unreasonable, but I definitely guess I could see, I don't know, being like a free-to-play player going in and just being like, what do you mean I have to play your game to get your game? I guess.
Well, when I compare this to other free-to-play hero shooters, or even just like hero games, like I think of Multiverses, I think of Apex, I have to buy those characters. They don't give
Yeah.
me the characters.
Yeah.
And again, I think the caveat here is new players. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is someone that clearly did not care about Overwatch 1, but now Overwatch 2 is probably going to be bigger than Overwatch 1 because of the free to play
I would assume. Yep.
point of it. But so it's like these are people that did not care enough the first time. I can't imagine like if they're that upset this time, then all I would say to them is like, "Well, why didn't you play the first one if you're this passionate about Overwatch?"
Oh, yeah. I see what you mean. Oh, and you can't buy Overwatch 1 anymore to unlock them.
Right. Well,
Okay.
they took it down because all of Overwatch 1 is in Overwatch
In
2,
1.
right? It's kind of
Yes.
eating it. So
Yeah.
anyway, so Overwatch 2 that comes out next week. You think you're gonna dive in just to see what the new shit is?
Yeah, probably dive in for a little bit. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say it's high on my list, but like I can make time for it for sure.
Yeah. I'm gonna try. I don't know where I'm gonna be on October 4th. I
Yeah.
know I'll be in India. I have no idea what my internet situation is gonna be like. I'll only have the Steam Deck, so pray you're not on my team because I can't play for like 30 seconds every time I die.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, that's all I've been playing. Let's do some news. Some interesting stuff happened. And these are pretty much in reverse chronological order, but announced this morning, Google is shutting down Stadia for good.
Yeah, this took way too long to announce.
Up to this point, Stadia, they had announced like that they're like not gonna do anything with it anymore. They're just gonna like keep it running. They're not gonna bring more stuff, ongoing. They're not gonna push it any further. Now it is done. January 18th is your last day to play Stadia. Even if you have like purchased games and stuff, those will
Yeah,
not be
that's
usable after this. The service is gone. Here's the pretty interesting thing. They're refunding every purchase except for the subscription service. Meaning me, who bought the like starter pack with the like Google Chromecast and the controller,
yeah.
I'm going to get a refund for that.
Yeah. Sure.
I was pretty surprised to hear that. I was not expecting them to do that, but like good on them. One thing, just some fun context that I was seeing posted on Twitter. This first one came from Jason Schreier. I'll read his tweet verbatim. I reported this last year at Bloomberg, but the amount of money Google spent to get games on Stadia, on Stadia, is so shocking that I still can hardly believe it. Even after corroborating with multiple sources, tens of millions of dollars per game, Red Dead 2, Assassin's Creed, etc.
Sure. Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. And the fact that they're doing all the refunds, like they are just willing to throw money. Like good for, I guess it's Google. They have the money.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
And then this was just kind of a fun anecdote. Someone was posting their favorite Stadia memory, and it was that time the Terraria dev canceled their Stadia port because they locked him out of his Google account. And then, so I'll read the tweet that he put out there. I absolutely have not done anything to violate your terms of service, so I can take this no other way than you deciding to burn this bridge. Consider it burned. Terraria for Google Stadia is canceled. My company will no longer support any of your platforms moving forward.
Yep.
So just some fun context surrounding Stadia.
That was only a year ago as well.
Yeah. What's your favorite Stadia memory?
I don't have like any. Honestly, I think just kind of the lead up to it, and specifically like you talking about getting the like little controller and stuff, and just being like, is this actually going to go anywhere? Now, obviously we know now, no, but I don't know. I think it's important for companies that can lose hundreds of millions of dollars and not feel it to take chances on stuff like this to push the industry forward and see if now's the right time for something like streaming games through your browser or whatever the fuck they wanted to do. So I'm glad that they tried it, I guess, but it's just, I don't know. I just like remember OnLive and other companies that couldn't handle that brunt of money.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, like, I feel like it was the right step. Like
they tried.
When you like this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Like it just gets better and better with Xbox.
With
just the
cloud.
whole business with their cloud. Like I use that almost every day on my Steam Deck in bed. Like it is great. Just the whole business model of like you can't play the games downloaded. So they're like always in the cloud. So like if you're on a plane, you just don't get your games.
Yeah.
Like, it's a weird, like I don't understand who the person is that's going to choose Stadia as their primary platform.
Right.
So it's like a hard sell in the best case scenario. But like, 10 years from now, for all we know, the only games are going to be streaming games. Like this is going to happen. It's not just because Stadia is gone. This is not going to go away.
Right.
Similar to Vampire Survivors, which has announced it's going to hit 1.0 on October 20th.
Yes. Yep.
I thought it hit 1.0 when it like got the price raised, but I guess not. There's also more stuff coming with the 1.0 update, including achievements. So I don't even know what the price raise was all about. Why are those not tied together? But anyways, always happy to talk about Vampire Survivors.
Yeah.
You excited for October 20th? Just in time for Halloween?
Yeah, it should be cool. I I really, really do like that game. I just hope that it's, I don't know. I guess I don't want to like necessarily overthink it, but they've been doing a lot of really cool ideas in there, and I kind of just don't know where they're gonna go from here. But I guess that's part of the fun as well.
They have like a whole roadmap. It's like all question marks, but they did post a big long update on the Steam blog, and the I guess this was the 1.0 advent calendar starting with October 7th to October 20th, and there's like 10 question marks on this thing.
Okay, sure.
So yeah, I don't know, man. I guess there's a lot coming.
Yeah, that game has got. I remember when we started talking about that game, I think there was just like the original roster of like 3 to 5 characters or something, one map. Like, yeah, that game has already gotten ridiculous from there.
I'm definitely planning on diving deep on the plane with Vampire Survivors tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, this one I was pretty surprised. Skull and Bones, the game that was like reported, it's coming out. It is coming out before the fiscal year is up because we have to get it out. That was the rumors, right? There was some like internal thing going on where they were just like, it's too much. We need to get this game out at this point. And they did that big long gameplay presentation during the Ubisoft Forward at the earlier this month. It has been delayed yet again, which I understand this is the 5th delay for the game.
Yeah.
It is now coming March 9th.
Okay.
It's supposed to come out in November.
Yeah.
This is a parody unto itself at this point.
If we remember for the Game of the Year show, we have to make the prediction. Is it actually going to make fiscal year of this year?
Is it going to get delayed again?
Yeah, exactly.
Like the question. Hopefully, yeah, we'll try and remember it. Hopefully. If you had asked me this like a month ago or like even a week ago, I would have said like, no, it's coming out. They're really pushing it now. Like there's no way. And then yet again.
Yeah.
What must have changed? Like from that gameplay demo, like what must have, oh my gosh. I feel so bad for these devs that are just like trapped under this game that no one wants. Who is the person excited for Skull and Bones?
I mean, I was maybe like stoked to check that out. I don't know, 20 years ago when they talked about it.
And like I can't imagine anyone who is like this into pirates is not just playing Sea of Thieves.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And Sea of Thieves puts in new content every like month, it seems. Like, yeah. That thing has a ton of content. They're doing cool crossovers with like Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff like that. Like, who is this game for?
Yeah, I don't know. So weird.
Yeah, like, and even when it does come out, like, it's going to be compared to Sea of Thieves because of course it is. Yeah, and it's like they have such an uphill battle. I don't know, man. Hey, in happier news, Shatter Remastered, which has had the weirdest development cycle. Not the weirdest, that's Skull and Bones. But this has had a weird development cycle from being announced to quickly just being a Netflix exclusive mobile game. It's now coming to PC and consoles on November 2nd for $10.
Okay.
Finally, here we go. Let's fucking go.
Man, that took longer than I expected to actually come out on a real thing.
I am so excited that it's finally getting free from Netflix.
Yeah.
I just wanted a console version of this on my TV with my big speakers. And for $10, they easily could have probably put this out for like $30. But $10? What games launch at $10 these days?
Vampire Survivors.
That's true. That's $3. And now it's $5. But
yeah.
I can't wait for this. I am absolutely gonna play this day one. Speaking of Netflix games, they have announced that they are going to start publishing their own titles or developing their own titles. They're building their own game studio in Finland to offer more, quote, world-class original games to its users. It's still early days, and we have much more work to do to deliver a great games experience on Netflix. This just makes sense. They did it with the television model of we will just license out other people's content. Eventually, we will make our own content. that's just kind of how it works. I will say their track record on licensing stuff out has been great. I have been thoroughly impressed from when this was first announced, Netflix games, to the stuff that they have partnered with. They're like, I feel like you can't make fun of it anymore. Those games are just good at this point. We'll see. I mean, this is definitely an easier said than done. You know, one thing is going out to an established studio and porting their game to mobile. You know, bringing Into the Breach on there, for example. Making your own is a whole different thing. So we'll see how that goes. And last but not least, is E3 is coming back.
So they say. Yeah.
Well, as we know, they were going to partner with ReedPop, which
yes,
as you, if you've gone to a games convention, it's probably been a ReedPop convention. If you've gone to a convention, it's probably been a ReedPop convention.
Yeah, most likely.
This time around, they announced the dates and even the format, so they seem to have a plan in place. It's going to be June 13th to June 16th. Partnered digital events and showcases, I guess kicking off on June 11th, so maybe the press conferences a couple days ahead of time before like the show floor opens. That's typically how E3 worked in the past anyway. The big change here is that the 13th to the 15th are going to be business networking days, and then the 15th to the 16th are public days.
Okay.
So this kind of split. This is the exact same model that Gamescom does, which is another ReedPop convention.
Right.
I think it makes sense, and it does sound like they're trying to work with pretty much anyone who wants to do a games-related announcement in the area at the same time. They want to support that. They've come out and said in their announcement that it'll be free to be a part of it, to come under the E3 banner. They're not making it like a pay-in thing, which is completely different than how E3 worked in the past. Typically, companies had to keep buying their booth space back, and a lot of the times, especially as E3 was like slowly dying, there was these big empty booths because maybe the company didn't have a huge lineup, but they didn't want to give up the space that they had paid for because they would lose it next year.
Right.
Sounds like ReedPop is just like they are understanding that E3 is no longer in a place of power and more in a place of we need to catch up again and establish ourselves. So we need to kind of take a couple on the knee to kind of regain that momentum. No word. I haven't seen Jeff Keighley comment on like what Summer Game Fest is going to be or if they're going to partner together. It sounds like ReedPop would probably want to partner with Jeff Keighley to make one big thing. When I spoke to Jeff Keighley, he did say he's willing to chat and see what they're talking about and stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of collaboration going on. Yeah, this will be interesting. I'm going to do everything I can to go.
Cool. Yeah.
You want an E3? You want E3 to come back?
I mean, I don't give a shit. I don't care about conventions. I don't care about any of that stuff. I just want more. I like the digital format because I don't want to travel or do any of that.
But you still want the live stream.
Yeah, I still want maybe a condensed week or 4 days or something of
the video game Christmas.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah. I do still think it is exciting when we get a whole bunch of big news all in one week.
In one thing.
It's like today we're gonna watch the Microsoft one, and then tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna watch Ubisoft and EA. And yeah, there is something exciting and forever nostalgic because I grew up doing that. So
sure. Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I hope I get to go to it.
That's
trying very hard.
That's a Sunday to Friday, it looks like, which makes sense. So yeah.
Let's do some questions. If people would like to send in questions, they can do that by emailing topdownperspective@gmail.com or messaging us on Twitter @TDP Podcast. There's also the Discord channel and John's P.O. Box. Kevin writes, how long does a game have to be for it not to be considered short?
Not short? Oh, I guess my cutoff is probably anything over 8 hours.
I was going to say, if you hit 8, I'm not calling the game short anymore. 7, I'm really considering it.
Yeah.
6, I would say, it's like a 6 hour
short.
thing,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a short game.
Mm-hmm.
Like 6, yeah. 8, I feel like is the line I would do it.
Yeah. 8 for me as well. Suku writes, a platformer from the 90s looks almost nothing alike from a modern platformer aside from the jumping part. With new games comes new ideas, new ways of approaching something. Game changers, as you will. What I'm trying to say is that game genres change and they have ebb and flow in the zeitgeist. Now, not every genre has survived elegantly. What do you think is a genre that's innovated the least?
Huh.
It's really hard to innovate, I think, sports games that isn't just
Came to mind.
tech-based.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I don't play the sports games, so it's a little hard for me to comment on them. But I feel like each year there's like a new feature I hear about, but I don't.
Yeah. I mean,
From afar, they look like the same thing.
yeah, like at the end of the day, ever since the SNES or whatever, you played a team that, like, let's say for hockey, that went to go score on the opponent's net, and sometimes there was a career mode. But then, like, tech-wise, eventually they had it so one stick literally controls, like, how you aim the stick and shoot and stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. I guess that's innovative in pushing forward the technology, but not... You can't really change the game too much either.
Yeah, I mean, maybe partly that is because they have to. It is somewhat of a simulation
Yes.
of
Yeah.
something else, and that thing is not changing.
Yeah.
Like I do understand that in sports there are like rule changes.
Yeah.
But they're pretty minor in terms of how you play the sport.
Yeah.
So maybe that's kind of part of it. But like, I wouldn't really call it a sports game, but like, skateboarding is a sport.
Yeah.
I would call that a different genre of video gaming.
Yep.
And then like, skate handles a lot differently than Tony Hawk.
Right. And even in Tony Hawk, like, those games innovated for a while. Every iteration, they added some new stuff in it. And yeah.
Yeah, you could get off the board.
Yeah, that's true.
That was a pretty big one.
What about
Phantom
like,
Aegis
rhythm
writes,
games?
Rhythm games?
Well,
I think
specifically
rhythm games
like rock band games. Just like, yeah, you know what you're getting into this for, and it's not that we're gonna change.
At some
everything.
point, it is like just the note highway. It's going to be kind of the same thing, and then they'll like add on stuff kind of around the edges.
Yeah.
I mean, Guitar Hero kind of innovated a bit when they did Guitar Hero Live.
That's true. Yeah.
But then again, the instrument physically changed.
Right.
But they also did a different kind of model where it was like music videos that you were playing in time with other people. Like it was like a channel kind of thing. Like Guitar Hero Live does not get enough credit for how cool it actually was, and it's a shame that you just can't play that game anymore. It's just closed.
Yeah.
It is an FMV game though, so it is funny when you see list of FMV games and Guitar Hero Live is on there.
Yeah.
But like especially for like Rock Band, they all look pretty similar.
Yeah.
In how that goes. Phantom Aegis writes, if you ever participated, what is the most bizarre thing you have won in a raffle?
I've never won a raffle I participated in.
Never? Okay. I think I have. I don't think I've ever won a raffle where you like buy a ticket.
Oh,
but
yeah.
The only thing I can think of is I did win a jar of jelly beans for guessing closest how many jelly beans were in the jar.
Okay, I've never won those either, but sure, I'll count that.
Actually, now that I think about it, they weren't jelly beans, they were Skittles.
Okay. Yep.
That's the only thing that came to mind.
The jelly beans' tasty cousin. Oh, hold on. Dad writes, are there any 3D PC games from 5 to 20 years ago you'd want to see an RTX remix mod for? Oh.
So wait, so RTX is ray tracing, right?
Yeah.
Just confirm that? Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I gotta think of like a really shiny game.
Sure. Like
Sonic Adventure, is that the one that has the like liquidy looking one?
Yeah, I think
that's Sonic
so.
CD. That's Sonic CD, right?
That's Sonic CD, yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's not a PC game, but that came to mind. Wait, which one has Metal Sonic then?
Uh, maybe Sonic CD?
Sonic C. Okay. And the liquidy one's name is Chaos, I believe.
Oh, yeah, that's Adventure, I think, right?
I don't know.
I think, yeah, I
I'm
think.
not the Sonic guy.
I mean, somebody is gonna say in chat.
One of them is Sonic CD.
Yeah.
And Heroes.
Heroes. Okay. That's not one that came in neither of our minds. A lot of the games I would say either have got this mod or are being remade. Like System Shock is coming out again, and I'm sure. I don't remember if they specifically said that that remake is going to have ray tracing, but I'm going to guess it's going to have ray tracing in it. One
way or another.
One of the first things is Quake 2, and Quake had like mods or whatever to play those games with ray tracing. That was like one of the first ray tracing things that got real big attention a few years ago. So yeah, I don't know. I liked shooters from back then, and shooters seem to be the easiest one to do this with, so a lot of those exist already.
I usually don't pick the ray tracing mode because it lowers the frame rate.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The first BioShock with all the like water and lighting, that would probably be pretty cool with all the like windows looking out into the water.
Yep. Any horror game as well, for the obvious reasons of a lot of those deal with light or lack thereof.
Rasterman7 writes, "What's the happiest you've ever seen someone play a video game?" I have no idea.
This is a weirdly hard question.
I think like I don't watch a lot of people play video games.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of people play video games either.
Yeah, I can't think of it. I don't know. Me, when I was playing Overcooked 2 with my buds.
I mean, yeah, the answer is definitely me, because I guess like I see myself play video game. Every video game I've played, I've seen myself play in one way or another. I don't know with what though. It's a weirdly hard question.
Yeah, I don't have a great answer for that.
VGC Kenny writes, do you think Guitar Hero, Rock Band, and other lesser games in the genre could make a comeback if it were in VR and you had to use VR controllers to mimic the instruments instead of needing new plastic controllers? I don't, because I think part of the thing is the tangible object in your hand that you're playing with.
I agree. And even as someone who like still plays them regularly, like the idea of like switching to the VR version, it's like, no, I want to like drum. I want to sit down and get the drums and have everyone together and play it. Yeah, the tangible part of it. Also, it's like you wouldn't get any of the feedback.
Yeah, like, so it was brought in chat. You have to compete with Beat Saber. Beat Saber works because it's like a lightsaber cutting through a thing. It's just like air anyways. If I'm playing drums, I want to feel that hit when I hit it. Like, that's part of it. Yeah, that feedback.
And also, like, I'm thinking of, like, at some point when you're getting to, like, a high enough level, is you're having to do notes pretty quickly. And I don't think the VR would be able to keep up with it, like, the number of strums you're doing. So they would have to, like, simplify it down to the point where it's just more of, like, a mini game in terms of complexity. And I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for, like a challenge sometimes and whatnot. Yeah, I don't see it. They did do Rock Band VR. Although I think you still used the plastic instrument.
That makes sense, yeah.
But it was pretty much just like you watching it in first person, and you could like look around, kind of.
There's a decent half measure thing you could do, I think, where if you created a peripheral that attached to your controller that was like the Guitar Hero World Tour, like DS thing, where it's still buttons, but like on one of your controllers now that you could like hold down for a fret button.
Okay, sure.
There's kind of a half measure there.
Yeah, well, I think the thing with a lot of the newer controllers is they have finger tracking. It's usually just for like the first couple fingers.
Right. Yeah.
Like maybe we'll get there. Once they eventually go to like Ready Player
Gloves.
One style gloves,
Yeah.
then like maybe I guess.
I have seen like mad geniuses on the internet do weird mods where they ripped apart the controllers and like made their own weird like I don't know, just like a mitten and then a bunch of wires just like attached to little things on their fingertips or whatever. Like,
Sure.
yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get there for sure.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. Yeah. Phantom Driver writes, how much work is too much work for a collectible in a game? At what point does the struggle outweigh the prize? Any specific examples of decent items, costumes, characters you worked way too hard to get?
The answer for me is having to play through a game more than twice. Specifically, you know how sometimes a game will be like, you can't unlock the true hard difficulty until you play it on the hardest we give you. And then you'll have to play through that
Sure.
again
Okay.
to get like something. Nah, I'm out. Like I should be able to do it once in one playthrough.
Trying to think of like if the prize is concept art, everything has outweighed it.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
And I say that as someone who likes seeing behind the scenes stuff. Whenever I'm rewarded with concept art, I'm just like, you should have just tweeted this out.
Yeah. What's your Tumblr address that I can follow?
Yeah. I'm trying to think because I'm not like a big like costume guy. I'm trying to think if there was something like in a platformer that had like a cool costume I really cared for. I don't know. The other thing is like if getting the collectible is fun, like if it's a fun platforming challenge,
Yeah.
then that can be fine too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's any kind of like rules or typical scenarios where I'm just like I'm not even going to attempt that. Challenge rooms where it's like combat rooms and stuff like that, I usually don't even care to do.
Sure.
Sometimes like races or time attack related stuff, I don't care much to do, but if it's like kind of like a unique like hey, here's a new like platforming challenge, like maybe we took away a bunch of like the platforms and now it's harder to do. Maybe I'll give that a try and I don't even care about what I'm unlocking. Cuz I'm just not like a big cosmetic guy for the most part.
Yeah. Monster Hunter has some annoying ones where it's like that collectible is cool, but I don't want to do the same hunt 20 times to get a percentage drop thing from it. Yeah, that has
Sure. Yeah.
weirdness to it. Also, MMOs, like I've definitely, it's being brought up in chat and for Final Fantasy 14 specifically, but mine was in WoW. Like I definitely have some titles that are or were just stupidly hard to get and involved 9 to 24 other people depending on what the raid was, all working in tandem for hours. Like, yeah.
I mean, that makes me think of like Burnout Paradise, where it's like I need 7 people here because I'm doing the 7 people challenges. And it's like I need everyone to jump over everyone else at this on the beach. Like, come on! While one person is just fucking around in the lower third of the map, and it's like, what are you doing? Come on! Like, why'd you join this game? I don't know. At the end of the day, I was just doing everything in that game. So,
Yeah. I think if you're having fun, then it's not that the work is too much for the collectible or outweighs it, right? Because it wasn't work, it was fun, and you got a thing for it.
yeah.
But like for you played that Rock Band, like the endless set list or whatever, like,
Right.
and that's for achievements, so that's not even for a collectible in game.
Correct. And I mean, even if it was for a collectible in game, it's not like I could show that off to anyone.
Right.
Because at the time, like Rock Band 2, that I don't think there was online for that one.
Right.
But keep in mind, that was also a scenario where it's like, I'm going to bring over 2 friends and we're going to stay up all night,
Yeah.
eating like chicken nuggets and shit, trying to do this stupid ass achievement. And like, that's in itself, like, it was a
That's
fun thing to do.
the collectible were the friends you made along the way, literally.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fair enough. Hebrew Lantern with the last question. Gamers literally only want one thing, and it's fucking disgusting. What is that one thing? Double jump.
I was going to say double jump. I was
Du-
absolutely going to say a double jump, which reminds me, Deathloop, you start with a double jump.
Anytime you can jump in a game and you can't jump again while you're in midair, feels a little worse than every other game where you can.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like if Moonscars had a double jump,
Way
get
better.
about it. I'd be playing it right now.
Yeah, we wouldn't even be doing this podcast. We'd be playing Moonscars.
Yeah. That's going to do it for questions. If people want to send in questions for next week's show, again, topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. Paul, is your game of the week Moonscars?
Yeah. It was fine. Sure.
I'm going to give it to Moonscars myself as well.
Okay. Cool.
If you haven't checked out the Tinykin episode of TDP Plus on our Patreon, you should definitely go do that. Otherwise, that's all we got for you. I will see you all in a few weeks.
Yeah, have fun in India.
Yeah, watch my socials if you want to see cool pictures of the other side of the world.
Will do. All right.
See you guys later.
We'll see everybody else next week. I'll see everybody next week.